In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life.
I am Rachel Ruth Tate, and this is Text Astrology. Hey, hi, howdy, hello, all gathered. I am Rachel Ruth, your faithful central text astrologer, coming to you from downtown Waco. In this episode of the show, we arrive at a new moon in Gemini happening at 26 degrees of Gemini on Saturday, June 17th, late into the evening, just before midnight at 11:38 p.m. Central Standard Time. I like late night for a new moon, y'all. Then it is natural for you to be in your element, free from obligation and work. Most of you, at least outside of the service industry and in Waco, even not too many of those folks are working at that time. Waco is not a late night mecca, shall we say. But we in most societies are free to choose basically during the late night, free to be in our own space typically. A lot of us use the vast majority of that time to sleep, and I would wager that I will be doing that by 11:38 p.m. Just because I am an astrologer does not mean I stay up for these things. My body, my choice, and sleep rules. But anyway, Mercury, ruler of this new moon, is as comfortable late night as any time. And we are also somewhat liberated from the commerce side of Mercury, so we can really get into our own expressive and creative potential. Mercury is the messenger god that travels between realms, remember? The conscious and unconscious, Olympus and the underworld, the living and the dead. This is a really good time for channeling thought and idea in general. Now, let me also clarify further and say that this June 17th new moon is happening less than a degree away from the place within the sign of Gemini where Mars, the planet of action, moving and doing, stationed retrograde last year on Halloween night. Mars entered sweet mercurial twin boy sign of Gemini in August and did not leave until March. Long in Mars terms, and it left a wreck in its wake. Interpersonal drama, transaction issues, sibling rifts, mental health stuff, crisis management, mired in detail, meetings about meetings about meetings about meetings, information overload, a hash made of important conversations, broken agreements, bad ideas, trouble pushing things forward, irritating admin, bullshit galore. Basically, Mars just wrecked the place and left it that way when it left in March. But now Mercury, the swift, communicative thinker, messenger planet, ruler of Gemini, just got back to the house a few days ago on June 11th, less than a week before this new moon. And it's like getting back to your house after somebody has thrown a rager there while you were gone. Oh no. the sheer wreckage, right? Mercury back in Taurus was like FEMA, slow to respond. But with that sign change and with that retrograde over, now we've got our best Gemini rapid response team on it, and Mercury is moving fast. So Mercury and the sun and the moon are here together in Gemini to reset and reanimate this area, to return order to the mercurial chaos, and to bring a newness, a novelty, a fresh feeling, all of which Gemini likes, to this space and place within all of our existences. And the princes are in the palace, folks. Mercury is itself in Gemini. The twins are at home. The ruler of this moon is bona fide and also enjoying triplicity rulership. This Mercury is also still 15 degrees away from the sun at 11 Gemini at the time of this new moon, meaning it is not combust. And so its condition is clear and its vision unimpeded. Good sign, ruler in good condition. So, what is the closest aspect any planet is making to this moon? I will tell you, there are no traditional planets, visible planets, making any aspect at all to the moon. The lone closely applying aspect to any planet by this moon is a tight square from Neptune, transpersonal Neptune, at 27 degrees of Pisces. So, expect Neptune stuff. Expect whimsy. Expect some fantasy. Expect to imagine and re-envision and create and ideate and make art and be your finest sapiosexual self. Neptune in Pisces dissolves lines between illusion and reality, and it challenges this new moon with and to action. Can you become the channel for the imagined to be made real through? Do you have the vision to see what isn't yet there? There is a decidedly kitsungi quality to this moon. Kitsungi is the Japanese art of mending precious broken porcelain vessels with gold. We are all in some strange emotional situations we never imagined we would be in. Neptune and Pisces. And the reality has made a hash of our former hopes and dreams and plans, to use that word again. Mars retrograde in Gemini. And with this lunation, our challenge is to make what is beautiful, to weave the threads of thoughts and things into a weft more glorious than we could have imagined at first. This new moon, remember that spirit, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, has plans for you. And it doles out its messages through other living vessels. Connection with others can be sacred. Mystical things can happen that will change your opinion of reality itself. That is this dynamic Neptune square. Get ready for beliefs about what is possible to be challenged and old paradigms to be shattered and remade in the image of reality. And get ready for the experience to be actually more healing than you could ever have imagined. Because Gemini is mutable, meaning it has to take many shapes and forms. It is changeable, mercurial. It has to evolve. That's what mutable signs do. And this is the evolution of our thoughts, forms of expression, and personal philosophies, air sign stuff. Minds can change quickly in Gemini and in general. But this new moon is calling for a renaissance of sorts in a part of our lives that has been aching for reinvention. Gemini comes alive with stimulation, with curiosity, with genuine interest. So, this new moon, what is authentically calling to you? This moon wants to help you help yourself. It is sextiling Mars and Venus in Leo, the sign of the self, making a 60-degree angle of opportunity and potential with this new moon. All the tools we need are present. Our hearts, Venus, our wills, Mars, our heads, Mercury, all of it is in position. And it's okay to enjoy the process. When we let go of one thing, we make space for something else. We get to rearrange the room here as we clean up post-Mars retrograde party. A little remodeling will lift the spirits as we clean up the beer bottles, the spills, the stains, right? A little creativity can bring joy to any situation. And joy is good for the enjoyer and the rest of the dang world. So rejoice in this sweet new moon and let the veils be as thin between realms as you can stand. The time for magic, the time for new forms of consciousness, the time for realization is now. And now, here are the new moon and Gemini horoscopes you've been waiting for each sign. I use rising signs for my horoscopes as the ascendant equals the self, but your sun or moon sign works all right as well. Go to www.texastrology.com and book a reading with me if you want to find out all 3 and more. Book with me, texastrology.com. Now, this new moon in Gemini lunation for all 12 signs. Aries. When I am brand new, so is everything around me. Taurus. When I value myself, I end up around those who value me. Gemini. When I evolve publicly, I give that same permission to others. Cancer. When I turn my search for the truth inward, I find answers. Leo. When I express the love I wish to see, there it is in the world. Virgo. When I believe in my ability to lead, others begin to follow me. Libra. When I doubt my doubts, I find new faith in their place. Scorpio. When I trust the right people, ours is more magical than just mine. Sagittarius. When I truly wish to know you, you unfold before me. Capricorn. When I set myself up to thrive with my routine, I thrive more. Aquarius. When I allow myself to create authentically, joy is a byproduct. Pisces. When I am at home inside myself, I am at home anywhere. Let those horoscopes inspire you as Gemini would wish, while we take a quick break for a word from our sponsors. And here we are with even more text astrology. It's time to talk current transits or cosmic weather, and here are our top 3 stories this lunar cycle. Number 1, the sun enters Cancer on Wednesday, June 21st at 9:54 a.m. Central Standard Time, marking the summer solstice and the longest day, the longest period of light of the year here in the Northern Hemisphere. I like this day, guys. It feels really summery to me. The day of the sign change and solstice. The moon on this day will be in early Leo, heading into a conjunction with Venus in Leo later that night, Leo being the sign of the sun. Read. Very good time to feel yourself, feeling yourself. Summer has begun. Literally, though, all the cardinal signs, Cancer is cardinal water, do what they do and begin seasons. Aries begins spring, Libra begins fall, Capricorn begins winter, and Cancer begins the summer season on the solstice day, which is the longest one. Life-giving, nourishing, like a river, like the crab, and like Cancer season in general. Cancer is the 4th sign in the zodiac, represented by the crab, as I said, and our cardinal water sign is ruled by the moon. The transit moon, which then takes over the general solar vibe for the month the sun is in Cancer. Think the song Mood by Ian Dior. Listen to it if you haven't. And Ian Dior is also a Cancer rising moon in Cancer natally, so he speaks the sonic and crabby truth. Why you always in the mood, fucking around, acting brand new during Cancer season, at least. The lyrics continue to this song, but try to play it cool, which we will all have to, because summer is hot, right? So we are way more likely to do like the crab and head for our indoor sanctuary during the day and then enjoy nightlife outside. It's a journey between in and out, between water and land, refuge during the day, party on the beach at night, tiki torches, barbecues, hot tub with champagne. Let's go. Break out the bug spray, hold the sunscreen. That all being said, this is really the moon's month. See what I did there? The cognate, the moon's month. Anyway, the moon's month is a great time to enjoy the personal freedom and liberation that the night offers us from the heat of the day. And many of us do. Summer nights are glorious. The moon is the night sect leader as well. She is the lady of the night, lustrous luminary to the evening. And ladies, we also have a reputation for lunar cycle moodiness. And that's just true. During Cancer season, though, we all, not just women, tend to be a bit moodier, as I used Ian to emphasize earlier. The moon moves quickly through the zodiac, and so our personal available energy, solar stuff, will move just as quickly during this part of the year that the moon is in charge. It'll be variable. We may start a whole lot more than we finish at times, because we will all have a lot going on. Camps, kids, vacation, family time, trips, travel, weddings, retreats, and on and on. And when we are physically hot under the collar and literally busy, we tend to get, emotional and or irritated. Cancer, crabby. We may have to let off some steam. So for the next month, watch where the moon is. If the moon is in Pisces or Scorpio, or those are our other water signs, with 2 luminaries in water signs plus Saturn and the South Node, look out for waterworks and deep emotions. This last moon in Scorpio that is happening on June 28th with the South Node there. The South Node's moving afterwards, so no more moons in Scorpio with the South Node. That might be really hard. Mark your calendars, as this day is potentially no good, very bad, or at least super emo. So have a plan for what to do with that angst. When we alchemize or transmute difficult emotions into something satisfying, like, say, art or movement or like work, all of a sudden things do not seem so dire. They seem for a reason. They seem true and purposeful. Anyway, that Scorpio moon aside, as the moon goes, so does our sun sign life during Cancer season. The crab must live part of its life cycle in the water and part on land. It's got to be on the go to survive, and that can be stressful. The crab is always in liminal space. It doesn't belong either on land or in the water, and yet both is changing with the tides, literally. And those emotions will require outlets, as I said. But all this also makes Cancer season the ideal pool season, no matter what sign the moon is in. Bring on the fluid refreshment. It will adjust your attitude. Even outside, the sun isn't so fixed fire Leo strong that it will burn you to a crisp. Not yet. But cardinal water Cancer will guarantee you feel refreshed anytime you cool off with a dip, a cool shower, hey, maybe a cold plunge, since that's all the wellness rage this Cancer season. Get you to a non-toxic body of water or water feature, a pool, sprinkler, fountain, puddle. I don't care. It doesn't matter the form. Cancer is physically and emotionally refreshed through the vital element of water. And the sun won't be the only planet spending time in the liquid sign of Cancer, because our second transit is Mercury, entering Cancer overnight on Monday, June 26th at 7:22 p.m. Central Standard Time, where it will stay for only a short couple of weeks until July 10th. So Mercury is indeed flying around the zodiac now, folks, making swift time like only the fast-moving messenger communicator planet can do. During Mercury's quick transit through Cancer, there will be no other planets changing signs, actually, until Mercury and Mars change signs the very same day. Mercury entering Leo, Mars entering Virgo on July 10th. So the symbolic lay of the land is already set up for this Mercury transit. It's nice that emotional moon-ruled Mercury in Cancer does not have to deal with more change than the moon through the signs. Less change is less literal stress. Emotions are enough to deal with anyway. Am I right? Mercury, as a symbol and a planetary signification, is about personal expression and interpersonal exchange. That which can be thought, spoken, or otherwise expressed and exchanged in some form. So Mercury is also about business and commerce, meaning expect business to slow down a bit from Gemini time, from the heights of that fast-talking, wheeling, dealing, always closing, schmoozing Mercury, which was at home in Gemini. Expect the slowdown. Cancer is the sign of the moon, as I've been saying, and the sun is also in Cancer, meaning two things. One, that both our vital energy, the sun, and our frame of mind, Mercury, will be subject to the variability and emotion of the moon. That's a thing. And two, that Mercury will be combust, or so close to the sun as to be burned up and apparently invisible for much of its time in Cancer. The effect of combustion on a water sign is a lot of sentimental fog, a lot of emotional moisture that can bubble up and boil over if the heat is on, which, with Mars and Venus both in Leo, fixed fire Leo, will also be a thing. Two personal planets, the heart and the will, in fixed fire means the heat is literally never off. So let me double down on what I've been saying. The moon is going to be hugely impactful to all of our moods, mental spaces, and the nature of our lived experiences this Cancer season. Mark down late June 30th and early July 1st on your calendars. Mark those days, though, because this is a day-long period that Mercury makes its cazimi with the sun in Cancer. A cazimi being a cleansing conjunction any body makes with the sun, like our monthly new moon is technically a moon cazimi, but I digress. A cazimi moment is a moment of clarity in the midst of this renewal by fire, this combustion that makes a planet's meanings harder to see or express. The Mercury cazimi at the end of the month will bring a moment of emotional intelligence and keen, felt, sensed perception. It will also happen to trine a retrograde Saturn in Pisces. So we may have some sentimental understandings or lessons becoming clear in retrospect, or the full implications of some realization upon our belief system and spirituality might become more consciously manifest. Trines are angles of the nature of Jupiter. This is some higher intuitive emotional maturity that we are developing with this important cazimi. And we love to see that, right? Love that for all of us. And on the same day, it just so happens that our third transit goes down on June 30th as well. That third transit being Neptune stationing retrograde on Friday, June 30th at 2:28 p.m. Central Standard Time at 27 degrees of Pisces. It will remain retrograde for about 6 months, stationing direct just before 2024 arrives on December 6th. You didn't think we would get through a Gemini new moon episode with Neptune making the closest aspect to the moon that didn't feature a Neptune transit, did you? Planets will call attention to themselves in more than one way when they are all up in the mix of the dynamic transit or current astrology. Even the strange transpersonal planets like Fog Machine, Dream Journaler, Psychonaut Neptune. Yes. There is a Mercury cazimi in full effect the same day that a stationary Neptune actually makes its retrograde station, stationary being still. Remember, the Gemini new moon is ruled by Mercury, so every important planet in this lunation is making some sort of deep impact transit-wise in the weeks after. This is a day and moment to write home about, Friday, the 30th of June. And we start out with a Scorpio moon, speaking of the last important archetype that we've been dealing with. So this day, before the cazimi happens or Neptune stations, the moon is in late Scorpio until it hops over the sign boundary into buoyant, fiery, jovial Sagittarius around 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Sagittarius is mutable fire, remember? So we have one heck of a loose, mutable square going on, with Neptune stationing in the afternoon in Pisces. And technically, Mercury is in the exact degree and degree minute cazimi in the exact heart of the sun at 12:05 a.m. Central Standard Time overnight from the 30th, just barely into the 1st. I was not actually kidding about Neptune and the dream journaling. If you have ever wanted to get out some pen and paper and put it next to your bed just in case, this is the night, folks. No joke. Try automatic writing, maybe even. Writing without stopping, like literally writing, if you're up for it at that time, or if you've got some emotional stuff to process. And if writing's not your jam, maybe automatic speaking, which is speaking into a mirror without allowing yourself to stop and seeing what happens. Asking yourself a question maybe before you do. Regardless, this day is one to turn the tide of illusion and reveal truth. Neptune is on pause and shifting gears. Whatever was unclear can begin to become clear. And perhaps some things you thought were true turn out to be horrifyingly false. This can go both ways. Neptune in Pisces stationing retrograde is emphasizing both Uranus and Pluto as well, both of which are making relatively tight sextiles to it from Taurus and Capricorn respectively. There is some underlying confusion, Neptune, that we have had around the way that society is materially changing. Pluto retrograde in Cap and Uranus in Taurus. And that confusion has had a deep impact on our spirits and beliefs, more so than we may have acknowledged or wish to acknowledge. Saturn co-present and retrograde in Pisces. But everything in Pisces, Saturn and Neptune, is now moving apparently backwards. So it's our time to shift our perspective on our historical, emotional, and religious wounds or spiritual wounds, and the more recent ones we've just acquired in the social carnage of this pandemic. Being wounded at this moment is just a matter of fact. It's a truth. And Mercury Cazimi, the sun in Cancer, the same day is here to help us flow into this recognition. Without forcing an aha moment, it will happen organically. This may just be a good day to get very quiet. Neptune and Saturn are almost stopped. They're both recently stationed, and so they're very slow. And Mercury's vision has been fuzzy and subject to mood, combustion. And today, this one day, June 30th, or into the 1st, it is bona fide and exalted. So it feels like the distractions, the mental and emotional noise will be less. Fewer whirligigs and colored lights on your mushroom trip, and more PTSD and trauma healing while you let the medical mushrooms rewire your brain and revive your dulled senses and chronically frayed neural pathways. Yes, intention is everything here. And plant medicine, by the way, is super Pisces, so let that happen if it's aligned for you. Otherwise, Neptune's retrograde station is a great time to pray. To whoever you pray to forgive, to put down the spear you were never actually going to use. It's a good day to back down from the hostilities, a great day to love again, to trust your intuition, to make art, to pick up an old art you had put down. And it's a great day to do nothing. To do nothing takes a lot of courage and a lot of willpower and a lot of peace, which Venus and Mars in Leo will provide trust, at least the courage and willpower. And that, you gentle people, brings us to our key words for the upcoming quality of time. These new moon and Gemini weeks will be revelatory, sentimental, clarifying, creative, and expressive. Which brings us into our do's and don'ts for this mercurial lunation. Do honor your emotions with intention and attention. Don't get too impressed by how you feel. Feelings always change. Do get creative and expressive, because the world needs the joy of your authentic voice. Don't create content just to create content or make money. It's about art and expression, baby. Do visualize and imagine how you want to feel and what you wish to see. There is power in making mental image. Don't get too attached to every idea, thought, conversation, or piece of work you make. There will always be more where that came from. And as always, please like, subscribe to, rate, comment on, and widely share Text Astrology on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and definitely book a chart reading with me, textastrology.com, to support the cause. Use code ILOVEYOU, no spaces, for $100 off, my dear friends, making your reading 100 flat. Remember that code ILOVEYOU. And with that final word, that final blessing, we have the end of this new moon in Gemini edition of the podcast. That's it for this episode, folks. Meet me here every full and new moon for more cosmic wisdom. For now, you can find me on Instagram at Rachel Ruth Tate and at Text Astrology, or between the pages of my book, Meditations on Being, available on Amazon and wherever else you purchase books.
In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life.